This episode of the MOC Squad was filmed in front of a live, members-only audience.
Good day, Rob.
Oh my God, it's another day. Wow, here we are. Another day that's hot in the... I have to tell you, do you know why this day, though, is different than last week?
Tell us.
There are no longer any puppies living at this house.
Yes.
There never will be puppies living in this house ever again.
A landmark day in the Burnett household.
My year and a half to 18-month-long puppy odyssey is over, and a gaggle of children invaded our house today to pick up Amelie and Marilyn, and they're going to be living close together.
Oh, nice.
So they will still be able to see one another. And it's funny. I did not expect this. I mean, I did not grow up. I grew up with a crazy cat mother,
right? And
I didn't have dogs growing up. So one of the things Elizabeth made me do was we got a dog. We got Gilbert, our Bernedoodle, who's a prince. And then we got another dog, Tallulah, and Elizabeth started to talk about breeding the dog. And I'm like, we're not dog breeders. And but I wanted to see that the circle of life.
Yeah.
And so we got a third dog, Sebastian, who's a purebred poodle. And Tallulah was an Irish doodle, or is an Irish doodle. She's half Irish setter and half poodle. So the combination of the two would be 75% purebred poodle and 25% Irish setter. And so we had our first litter of puppies, and it was an amazing experience. I was there for the birth, and then we had built a pen that was half inside our bedroom and half outside on the patio. So it was a pretty big pen. So as they were puppies, they could play around outside, and they were used to going outside, and I was feeding them outside, and the big dogs would mill around. So they were being socialized. And as they got older, we'd let them out to play, and they'd run around in the backyard, and we'd have our morning coffee, and they would jump on our laps, and, we played with them. And then I fed them 3 times a day. And then as they got older, I mean, obviously the goal would, some people aren't down with us selling the puppies, but, we couldn't refinance because of our mortgage, because of interest rates, which was a real hardship. So we created these bespoke puppies, and then all the people that came and took them, we kept up with them. And I didn't realize, like, families came with their children, and, puppies kind of pick you.
Sure.
And to watch a family with a kids or multiple kids like today, and watch the puppies pick their people was, I mean, I'd never experienced it. I'm sure it seems, I don't know. It was magical.
Yeah.
There was a certain magic in it. And a lot of the people that got the puppies, we've kept up with them. One of the puppies became a service dog because the child has seizures.
Wow.
So, and then some people, we had people fly in from the East Coast to take some of the puppies. And one of the puppies lives with a fitness trainer, his wife, in Palm Springs, which is kind of close to us. And he's living his best life, taking runs every morning and going on all these adventures. And it'll be
cool. It'll be almost like you're following up with the kids as they grow up. You'll be able to kind of,
and then they grow up. Last week, one of our puppies was taken by a family with a year-old baby.
Wow. And
they sent us a video of the puppy on its tummy, which means it's happy, and the baby was petting its face. I mean,
that's awesome.
It's all if you want. There's not going to be any more puppies, but follow Gilbert and Tallulah, Gilbert _Tallulah on Instagram, and you can see, because we ask people if we can take their picture.
Of course.
And everybody's free to do it. You can see the families that took the puppies and watching them get older, and it's been an amazing experience.
That's
an experience that I'm happy is over.
Yes.
We had 3 litters. Vets say, we did a lot of research, and vets say that you can have 3 litters and that's it. We weren't going to have 3, but so many people wanted the puppies, because once people met the puppy, because they were so sweet and so socialized.
Right.
And they love people. So,
yeah.
And now, as of this morning,
that phase is over.
Yes. Now I got to finish True Noir, the assassination of Anton Cermak.
And
our audio
the
drama.
Kickstarter is off to a good start. I saw you
A slow start.
Yeah,
it's a slow start, but we haven't promoted it. It was kind of a soft launch. We're doing for 60 days.
It's already about a third funded, or about a fourth funded. So that's great.
I mean, obviously, we hope to have it a lot more funded because we want to make all the the perks, the physical media, and we have a lot more stuff coming during the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah,
I'm hoping to finish the first episode probably a month in, so you can play it and actually hear what it is. Because I think a lot of people are like, well, what is this? And once they hear it, they're going to be like, oh,
yeah.
The acting is so. I recorded this past week. I recorded Renee Taylor, who plays PJ Byrne, plays Barney Ross, and Barney in our audio drama. A lot of the characters are real. The characters and situations are real. Our main character is fictitious, but he gets involved in real events throughout his career. And Barney Ross was a Jewish prize fighter in Chicago in the 30s. And so Renee Taylor playing his mother was hilarious. She did it multiple different ways. And I also recorded, this is kind of cool. I'm a huge Risky Business fan. And Curtis Armstrong, who played Miles in Risky Business, he was also Booger, and he
Better Off Dead also.
Yeah, Better Off Dead. He recorded, and Moonlighting. He's been around for. He was so great. It's not a big role, but he was so great and really did a fantastic job. And I go, for 40 years I've been saying your line from Risky Business, and he goes, what line was that? And I did it. I said, Joel, sometimes say, what the fuck?
Right.
And I did. I did. I'm doing his line back to him, and he goes, dude, that was perfect. I said, man, I've seen the movie. It's coming out in 4K from Criterion next month. And it coincidentally, he had been at a screening with Raphael Sabarge and Richard Mazer, who played the Princeton admissions guy, at a screening the night before he recorded. And they were in New York, and so having talking to him about it was just so much fun to talk to him. And I mean, this cast, I wish before we launched the Kickstarter, people could hear. We have a big Comic-Con panel on Thursday of this coming week, and Anthony LaPaglia is going to be on it, who's Al Capone. Chris Carr plays a big role from the John Campea Show, if you know her. Bill Smitrovich, who's been in a million different things. Everything. He was the lead of Michael Mann's series Crime Story that he did after Miami Vice that I loved. He was in everything. I mean, Bill Smitrovich was Will Smith's commanding officer in Independence Day. You've seen him in a million different movies. So he's going to be there. Don McManus is going to be there, and Louis Lombardi from 24 and The Sopranos will be on our panel at Comic-Con. I mean, it's just Vincent Pastore, who played Big Pussy Bumpancero, plays Campagna, who is Frank Nitty's second in command. I mean, he was great. He's like, listen, Hella, if Mr. Nitty wants to see you, Mr. Nitty's gonna see you. I mean, it's the performance is Bill Sadler. It's just incredible.
Now, Rob, have you already announced who's playing Nathan Heller, or is that still under wraps?
We have not.
You have not. Okay, I thought that was the case. Okay.
Yeah, we have not announced who's playing Nathan Heller or Frank Nitty.
Okay.
And in terms of our big name, there's only 3 people, one of which we can't record yet because things are in flux, and that person we have to know. We have a great person who's the announcer, the opening narrator, who's our E.G. Marshall.
Yeah.
And until everything is squared away, but man, has it gone well. I mean, it's exceeded all of my expectations.
That's great.
Yeah. So,
well, Rob, we got people waiting to join us here.
Come on in.
We'll go ahead and let them all in, and then we'll get started. Remember, those of you joining us in the chat, when you get into the Zoom room, you can do the raise your hand, so that will put you on the queue, and then we will have you come in one at a time to chat with Rob. We're going to be broadcasting about the first hour of the show here today, and then the rest of it we'll take offline, but we'll continue the Zoom chat for the members. So let's go ahead and let everybody in here. Here we go. Whoa. Waterfall of the cascade of
the cascade. I love this part.
Cascade
it's like
of members.
The matrix of people.
It never gets old.
It never gets old.
Let me go ahead and pin you, Rob, so that you are.
It's like being pinned when you're in high school.
Center of attention. There we go. We got Rob back here now. And let's see. We've got Kevin. It looks like Kelvin jumped in at the front today. So let's go ahead and
look at Kelvin.
Yeah, jumping right in.
Umbrella's got a lot of Umbrella and Imprint are fucking killing it, man.
So welcome, Kelvin.
Good morning to you. Well, thanks, Roberto. Yes, I didn't even realize I'd be the first person in here. No,
well, there you go, man. There.
I was a bit unwell yesterday. It's been blowing a gale. Sinuses have been blown up out of all proportion.
Oh, I thought you meant like unwell, like insane, like you were having crazy thoughts. And you were you might be like transforming at midnight into a creature. You just didn't know it. Your lycanthropy is a bitch. I hear it hurts when the snout comes out. I saw that happen a couple of times, a couple movies. It must happen just like it happens.
American Werewolf in London, one of the best transformations.
And by the way, in a lot of light. What's so great about the American Werewolf transformation is how bright it is. There's no darkness hiding any of that.
No, you are right on. No, you are correct about stuff coming out from Umbrella and.
Dude, I can't keep up. I can't. I have an incredible story to tell about an order that an order I received but yet didn't receive that I'm going to talk about on Let's Get Physical Media tomorrow.
With your production partner, Mr. Bastian.
Can you believe that?
Enlisted in Variety.
I mean, they don't even get our company name right. I mean, it's great to have it, but why don't they put the True Noir? Nobody cares about my picture in Variety. I wanted to see the True Noir logo. You know, our beautiful Bartos is here. I've got this incredible artist who lives in Transylvania doing all this amazing artwork for me.
Hey,
and
he does Transylvania, so you know he might do transformations.
Yeah, it's true. Transylvania 5000. If you're a movie fan,
Geez, that's a long time ago.
A long time ago, long time ago. Dude, I'm almost done alphabetizing my entire physical media collection.
I don't know. I just have mine sort of under actors and directors and genres and all out of it's crazy. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. The other thing what's the line here is the only thing that arrived this week was a film called Peterloo.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Nice.
Directed by Mike Lee.
Yeah.
About 1817 and I think it's 1817 and 1819, where the ex people, I think it's in Manchester or somewhere in the central part of England, they were basically set upon by the local government forces, militia, because they were protesting about starving and not having a job.
Right.
You know, they were promised post Waterloo and Napoleonic era, everything would be better. No, sorry.
No, it never is.
Hasn't that happened before? And again and again and again. People come out of a war and everything's promised to be great. It hasn't. Anyway, but no, so I'm looking forward to it. Well, I do have. There's my prisoner box sets up there, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't got that because I already had I already have the original network set, but I kind of want to get the other set just because it's really great.
I'm on there.
It's really nice.
Here it is here. I haven't even checked it open yet, but I got it because they might be testing the waters here with, of course, Danger Man, because there's 5 episodes on Blu-ray. But one of the main things I wanted to get is the booklet written by Andrew Pixley. The guy is an absolute master of British television. He's written so much about Doctor Who.
Yeah, maybe I'll get it. You know what? The lovely Emma Bannon sent me a link to HMV is putting out a box set of the Space 1999 movies that they made, the compilation. I don't know if that's on.
Away and
yeah, like Destination Moonbase Alpha, and I want to get that box set. I don't know. I have to look because I think I have the imprint. I do have the Australian version, but I don't know if the movies are on that version.
I think they are.
If they are, then but I still want the box set just because the artwork, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, so much good stuff. So much good stuff.
It is unbelievable at the moment because I'm trying to find it up. Yeah, I mean I've got up there the Persuaders as well, because I bought that. And I'm debating about the Kathy Gale set that they've got.
I did order the Caligula, the Umbrella Caligula box set.
I've got to do that. That's another thing that's on my to-do list.
Because it's got 5 different versions of the movie. But I'm really, even though Tinto Brass wasn't involved in the restoration, I'm really curious to see this new version of Caligula where all the porn was cut out and they cut it the way the movie was written before Bob Guccione went in and destroyed the film and added all that. Well, destroyed might be. I certainly liked it when I was a young whippersnapper in junior high and high school. I showed it to all my friends. I love the beheading propeller blade.
To be honest, I've never actually seen the movie because
you're in for a treat.
It was X-rated in Australia, and that meant that you could only get it at the specialty shops.
Oh, come on, Kelvin! You didn't delve into the shops you weren't supposed to go into.
Well, I was lucky to get into the R-rated section of the video store.
Wow, boy, you Aussies, man, you're hardcore. By the way, 1001 Johnny sends in a tip and said, "Sorry, Rob, I can't make it to the MOC Squad assembly this time, so I'll just say, and this is a reminder, and it can only come from 1001 Johnny. If you haven't started watching Ultraman, check out Ultraman Blazer, and Ultraman Arc is now airing on YouTube. The 3rd episode is out today. So all of you Ultraman fans, make it happen."
I thought he was going to say happy birthday, Rob.
Well, you're the first today.
I have one little thing. I have one little thing to do before we knock off. I'm going to Middle Earth again, Aka, New Zealand next month. I'm going for a few days. I've got a friend of mine who lives in Wellington. I haven't seen him since COVID, so there'll be a good opportunity to go there and probably go to the Weta workshop again.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love going there. Well, it was great when I was working on Lord of the Rings. It's so funny because the Weta workshop's like in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
I know.
It's awesome. And then you go outside, you walk down the sidewalk, you go around the corners where the screening room is, and you walk down the other block and up the street, and there's Weta Digital. They might have changed it in 20 years, but that's what it was like when I was down there. It was great.
It was great to see you, Kelvin. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Kelvin.
Hey, Rob, by the way, over the last weekend, I got to see The Untamed, your film recommendation.
And?
It was quite something.
Dude, Mexican hentai.
Yeah. Although I think it did remind me a little bit of We Are the Flesh in that it definitely has some social commentary, especially around sex roles in Mexican culture and machismo and all that stuff. Don't know that it 100% achieved that, but I think it was commendable for that part and for the
I mean, but what I found so interesting about, I guess because I've always thought of Mexico as sort of a Catholic culture.
Oh yeah,
and to see movies like We Are the Flesh and The Untamed get made, Mexican genre. I love Mexican genre cinema. I mean, you've got Guillermo del Toro, Alfonso Cuarón, and Inarritu.
Iñárritu, yeah.
Inarritu, incredible filmmakers. But man, when you watch things like that are made domestically, like We're the Flesh and the Untamed, it's like, whoa.
And the director of The Untamed has an earlier movie that I want to check out. I'm spacing on its name right now, but it seems
I got to get it.
Very low budget, very indie. One of these tales also that has to do with, I think it has to do with an issue of somebody trying to cross the border or something like that. Anyway, it looks like an interesting film as well. So
that was one of the most expensive DVDs I've ever, or pardon me, Blu-rays I've ever bought. I mean, it wasn't that. It wasn't 3 figures, but it was up there. And I'm like, because I could get a region B version, but I wanted the English, the other, and it was ridiculously expensive.
I found it for those in the US, if you are in your public library system, if they contract with a company called Canopy with a K, they are a curated streaming service, and it works through the public libraries. And they have it there. So that's where.
Wow, they have it on. Yeah, so you can take your kids to get Frog and Toad or Friends and have them watch Untamed.
Yes, public libraries doing their part for.
You go libraries.
Yes, exactly, for taking all those banned films and books and keeping them going. So that's a good thing. All right, we got Pedro Ferreira coming up next. Welcome, Pedro.
What's up, dude?
Hi, you're right.
I'm good. You know, getting ready for Comic-Con, working on the audio drama.
That's cool.
Been busy.
You know, you were talking about Space 1999. I'm not really I'm not into Space 1999, but I just thought you'd like to know that you know, with those the box set of the movies, the edited together movies.
Yep.
You don't need to get those separately. You can just buy the box set, the complete series, and it comes with those.
Yeah, I have two of the two box sets of the complete. I don't know which one. I was wondering because I was reading something about that. I hope they're in there. I didn't know if they were, but I want to get that box set just because of the artwork.
Yeah, I was going to say just sell the old one and just buy the new one.
Oh, how dare you? You got to keep them all. What are you talking about? I have to have every one of them.
Yeah, I suppose if you're a huge fan.
I'm a monster. I don't know if you can see behind me, but here's a giant. Here's an Eagle transporter, a 22-inch Eagle, and then next to it is a model kit that I built. I've got and I have all my 12-inch die-cast Eagles. I probably have 25 Eagles in the Robservatory.
I picked this up. I've been meaning to get this for.
Oh yeah, because that got released that finally got released in the UK, right?
Yeah, well, you know what though? So half of the extras are missing because the reason they've had such problems trying to release the film over here is because it's a Universal property, but the extras in licensing were Warner Brothers, so any extras by Warner Brothers aren't on the set.
Yeah, that's always been a problem. It's a bummer.
So the the stuff from back in, I think, was it 2000 when they did the extra features, those aren't included on the set. It's just the new stuff. That's on there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about Kino Lorber. They'll just take whatever extras they get from wherever and throw them on the
Arrow
disc.
one. The American Arrow one is obviously superior then, but I'm just happy to have it on UK physical media.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is never the last time this was released on home media was VHS.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. This never even got a DVD release. So
I did have it on. I want to say I had it on Laserdisc.
Yeah,
I think I had Laserdisc of it.
There's a number of films that have not been released in the UK on digital media yet, which is really annoying because they're some of my favorite ones. So yes, that's really kind of annoying. But it's at least, you know, one off my list.
No, it's good stuff. I look. When it comes to Space 1999, I'm not a fan of the second season. I really only like the first season of Space 1999.
I don't understand how could they get rid of that fantastic theme tune? so it's called Puppetry. And it's all like, it's comedy, but it's aimed at adults. So even though it's for kids, it's a kids show, but that some of the jokes and stuff is kind of for adults, so they can like watch it and get something out of it. But I remember I was watching a random episode many years ago, and they had a chase scene, and suddenly the theme tune from Space 1999 plays. It's not something kids would pick up on. You really have, like, it's for an adult, it's for the adult fan, but it's just I just thought it's funny that out of all the places you could find this theme tune for Space 1999, it was in an episode of Roger and the Rotten Trolls.
Well, you reminded me of something. I remember the great cult or B-movie filmmaker Larry Cohen, who made movies like It's Alive and Black Caesar, and he made a movie called Q and the stuff. He made a movie called God Told Me To. Mm-hmm. And in the middle about this hermaphrodite alien, you got to see it, it's awesome. But in that movie, they have stock footage from some Space 1999 effect shots of like the little tram system in Moonbase Alpha. And I was at the Saturn Awards, and I was sitting at Larry Cohen's table, and I said, Larry, because I every year they sat me at his table, and I said, Larry, I got to ask you, I was watching God Told Me To, and there's stock footage of Space 1999, and he goes, damn it. Every time somebody brings that up to me, I get angry. I didn't know that. I'd never seen that fucking show. How did I know? And I it was just very funny that I brought up to him. I mean, he was a great guy. I love that guy. But it was funny that he didn't even know it was Space 1999 footage. So Space 1999 is in the air and everywhere.
Well, I remember when I met one of the last times I went to Comic-Con, and I met Lance Guest for Last Starfighter. I didn't even end up talking to him about this movie. I ended up just talking about how underrated Jaws the Revenge was.
You're out of your mind. It is not underrated.
He said to me in response, because I said to him, this is a bit of a hot take what I'm about to tell you, and his response to this was he burst out laughing, and he said to me, you have no idea how many people come up to me and tell me that.
Yeah, well,
awesome.
You're all insane, every one of you.
But I said it was better than the third one, which, I mean, yeah.
Do you know how many people I've met in my life that think Jaws the Revenge is underrated? One, and you're the first. Oh, Mikey Lito says Jaws the Revenge is underrated too. That's it. You know what, you guys? I'm out. No, I'm kidding. To each his own. Who am I to I would never tell an imagination connoisseur. I mean, I love Star Crash and Tough Turf. So what does that say about me? I'll defend them to my dying days.
Hey,
I don't trust
huge thank you to Pedro for joining us, and sorry to folks for the little audio mishap there. My computer decided to do an update right as we were in the middle of this. But Rob, I have a quick guest for you to say hi here.
Oh, really? Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
What does it feel like to be a filmmaker now?
It's crazy. It's really, it's insane.
You're like the new Timothy Chalamet, but behind the camera.
Essentially, yeah.
I'm all excited about that. Roberto, why don't you introduce your son and explain?
Yeah,
why don't you explain what you guys have done?
So this is Felix Suarez, my son, my youngest son.
Mm-hmm. 15 now, very impressive 15-year-old who knows a lot about cinema already.
He does. And he this last week, he was at Northwest Film Camp here in Portland. And he did a short 5-minute film that I got to share with Rob yesterday. And Rob says he would like to play it at some point on the channel. So it'll be
I'm totally going to do that on the channel.
Yeah. So you'll get to see Felix's work, a cute little 5-minute film. So really fun.
Yeah.
And he does the voice of Seth Rogen.
He does.
Not well.
Oh, I disagree. It's a fine interpretation of Mr. Rogen.
Yep.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Rob. Thank you.
By the way, have you seen anything theatrically that you would recommend?
Recently,
We
Yeah.
went to see
Long Legs for
You like-
sure.
He liked it more than I did.
I did
Yeah.
love Long Legs. And
You like the Yorgos Lanthimos movie?
ooh, I loved Kinds of Kindness. And well, I didn't see this theatrically, but it was playing theatrically at a couple of film festivals, and I watched this recently on Canopy. Waiting for the Light to Change.
Oh man, I've heard that's great.
It's It's just so good. It's really fantastic.
And what's the Thewlis movie you saw the other day?
The what?
It was the Criterion Collection one that you got that was really dark.
Oh, Naked by Michael A.
Oh my, yeah. With Fassbender, right?
Mm-hmm.
My yeah.
Yeah, that one was a rough watch. And I just got on Criterion Ingmar Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage. So
Oh, nice. Look at you, 15-year-old, watching the Bergman. Very impressive. Now you got to get your brother. But you know what? The Criterion sale's on until the end of the month. You got to rock the Bergman box set.
Oh, my friend Joe just got that. Lead character in the short film.
Joe, the lead character.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
He just got the box set for what, 150 because it was on sale from 300 normally.
What's great about that box set is not only does it have all of Bergman's movies in it, but it's heavy enough that you can kill somebody if you hit him in the head. So you know, if you can if you get depressed after you watch all those movies, you know, and you want to take it out on somebody, you can.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just a great box set to have on the wall.
Yeah, no, I was at his house the other day and I just saw it over there and I'm like, oh my god.
So what you got to do is get that and get the Fellini box set, and then you're stoked.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks so much for
Thanks for stopping by. I'll let you know when Rob plays the movie.
Sounds great.
All right. Take care. There he is.
That guy, you have an exceptional son there, sir.
He's a good kid. All right, so let me get out of the queue here, and I will go ahead and bring Andy from Argentina next. So let's have Andy unmute. Andy, you should be able to join us now. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm here. Hola, Roberto.
Twice
Hola,
in
saludos.
a week, you guys. Twice in a week. Look at that,
Yeah.
Andy.
It's just luck because I have to be in my studio. I have to be ready here. And probably you don't know, but in Argentina, it's Friendship Day. So to all post-kids singularity, happy Friendship Day. It's at least Friendship Day here in Argentina. It doesn't matter. So it's just here.
Well, I think
Oh,
everybody, the world could do best celebrating a Friendship Day.
Yeah, but it's just here in Argentina. So in a couple of hours, I'm gonna gather with a few friends. We're gonna have some drinks and all that. It's just to have a nice time, and that's it.
That's nice.
Yep.
Now,
So,
what time is it right now where you are?
for almost 4 p.m.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we have like 5 hours, I think, difference, right?
Yeah.
5
Well,
hours.
yeah, it's 11:53 here right now.
That's the reason why sometimes I can't make it, because sometimes before you had shows that you were airing like 4 a.m. here in Argentina. It was not possible for me to stay up that late. You know what I mean?
Well, it is. It is
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want to.
I could sometimes, but it was not easy. It was not easy. So I want to ask you something, because the last time I was going to ask you something about the new Deadpool movie, and I got the rails with other things that we start chatting about, other movies and all that, and I forgot about my question, so now I'm going to get back to it.
Is there a Deadpool movie coming out?
Yeah. Yeah. With that guy that plays the claw guy, All right.
Wait,
So,
Wolverine's in it?
yeah, I believe it's with that Jackman song and dance man that is too tall for the part. Or something
Wow.
Like that. Who cares about him, right? Okay, so let me ask you this. It's been a lot of talks that finally we're gonna have an R-rated Marvel movie. You know what I mean? And that's all great. There's been a few times that I've seen movies that just because they were allowed to use the R rating for uncountable F words, they just shoehorn them in and they force them into this.
Uh-oh. I was really looking forward to seeing International Women's Day celebrated in Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, wait, what?
Just because they could. You know what? It
Yes.
froze? I can
It
see you.
It froze for a moment
bit.
there. So yeah, go ahead and
It
repeat
froze
that.
for a moment, but we're okay, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is that when I saw the first trailer and I decided that I was not going to see anything else because I don't want anything spoiled for me, if you know what I mean. I saw the first trailer and that was already enough for me. I'm gonna see the movie, but as soon as I heard "Let's fucking go,"
Right.
I thought, oh no, really? You're gonna say fuck every 3 words just because you can? Really? Is this gonna be the movie? Because if that's gonna be the movie, it will take me out of the movie a little bit. I mean, I'm not an English native speaker, and I've seen many movies all my life in English, and I have never heard the phrase "let's fucking go." I've overheard "let's go," and when they say "let's fucking go," let's fucking go. It's like, really? Is that you need?
Okay.
You need to put a fuck there.
Wait a minute though. When Wolverine first says that in the trailer, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's not that sentence. It's the thought that maybe because they are so happy that they are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, no, and all that. All right, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Let's put F words everywhere. It's gonna take me out of the movie, if you know what I mean. It's gonna take me out of the movie. I mean, I will be thinking, all right, you have to say fuck. We all get it. We all very impressed about the F words you're saying. Can you focus on the story, please?
Well,
I'm
okay.
not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I'm a little bit concerned.
I'm going to agree with you. I have to tell you, I have not been impressed with the 2 trailers, not until the trailer that dropped. I think it dropped yesterday.
That I will not see it. I don't want to see it. I just want to go see the movie.
I have been, the marketing for this movie has annoyed me. I think the marketing for Deadpool and Deadpool 2 was clever. A lot, like some of this stuff, the way they've worked the brands into it was fun. But the trailers have not been. I know they can't show very much of the movie because of spoilers, but I'm like, what is my reason? To me, the trailers of putting Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, it was already played out. The marketing has made that aspect of the movie to me.
I still don't know really what the movie's about. I don't want to know spoilers.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to say anything if you haven't watched the trailer.
All right.
The trailer yesterday that dropped, they call it the final trailer.
They tell you that.
It was the first time that I found it intriguing. Like, for me, the mark of anything, whether it's a book, a documentary, a feature film, a TV series, there has to be some kind of an intellectual, interesting hook for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just watch a monster movie.
Yeah.
I want a monster movie with some kind of a hook, a reason to watch it. How is this different? How is this monster movie different from that monster movie?
Yeah.
And with Deadpool and Wolverine, it hadn't shown me, other than cameos and let's fucking go and all. They're funny jokes like, would you please put your mask on so I can eat? Well, I can't eat with my mask on. It's like, okay, it's been a one-note advertising campaign. One note.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. I get that there's one note. I get it. It's Deadpool and Wolverine and ha. Isn't that rivalry funny?
But we have to have a good story anyway. There should be or at least they must be a good story, because otherwise it's just putting Wolverine and Deadpool in a movie just because you can. And that's not a movie. That's a YouTube video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like a YouTube parody video.
Right.
And obviously, it's like, who's going to fight whomever and all this thing. But the new trailer also added an element that they kept a secret.
All right.
Up until this past couple of days, I'm like, that's interesting. And there were things said that make it interesting. And Kevin Feige had said in an interview that I had covered on the show that the movie was really heartfelt.
Yeah,
and to me,
we'll see.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course we would. But I
Because
look.
he has to sell the movie, Rob. He has to sell the movie.
I know, but look.
Remember James Cameron with Terminator Genesis? Oh, this movie is very interesting. This movie is very interesting. James fucking Cameron, man.
Well, it's
And
funny you
then
bring.
what
It's
happened?
funny you bring that up because I think Deadpool and Wolverine has a Terminator Genesis vibe to it, at least in the trailers. I mean, let's go revisit places we've already been.
Yep.
You know, and multiverse, whatever. But I'm not going to say that I'm not excited. I'm excited.
I will see
I'm
the
not.
movie.
I'm not nearly as excited as I was to see Infinity War and Endgame, but I'm excited.
Right. I will see the movie, but the thing is that I don't want to see a movie just because they can say F words or they can be edgy. I want a good story. If you don't say a single F word and the story rocks, I'll be happy.
Oh, I agree. That's why I can't stand, like, I hate hearing swearing in Star Trek. In modern Star Trek on TV, they keep having to say, they throw in these fucks. I'm like, nobody would talk that way. It's not that I don't care about that. It's just Star Trek is the kind of place where when someone says, like when Data says, oh shit, when the Enterprise D is going to crash on the planet, the saucer section, that makes sense because it's amusing and all that. But the way people talk in modern Star Trek, like on Star Trek Discovery, when they throw in the F words, I'm like, I can't. Why are you doing that? It's so lame, and it tells me that the writing staff are a bunch of uncreatives. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Good to see you, Andy. And also, Andy, just for what it's worth, I think "Let's effing go" has become kind of an expression. I hear it a lot around sports events.
Yeah, everybody's saying it now, which I like.
It's kind of a phrase here in the U.S. Maybe internationally, it hasn't become as much of a thing, but that it's not odd sounding in the U.S. because it has become kind of a common expression around here as of late. So, all right. Well, we've got Krizik coming up next. Welcome, Krizik.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Great. Hi. Wow, this is a very spirited conversation. I had a question, but now I feel compelled to respond to Andy because
Please do.
I love you, Andy. I met you last week, and you're an awesome dude. But I have to just give a small rebuttal in defense of the character Deadpool and his notoriety in the comics. I don't know how much you know of the character or how he's been in the Marvel Universe prior to Disney and all that stuff. But this is a character that, just like the old She-Hulk, was meant to always sort of break the fourth wall and be a bit of, as you alluded to, a sort of a YouTube meme, right?
Right,
because he was always meant to be, I'm poking fun at, I mean, he has a series known as Deadpool Kills Marvel, where he goes around and he destroys all of the Marvel universe.
That was a riff on Fred Hembeck destroys the Marvel universe.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where my rebuttal is not to defend the F word. I get the spirit of your argument in terms of
totally
using swears. And I say this because my studio, I can't say the name of it, but we have a movie coming out next month, and it's like I know we might be doing something similar to that. So it's like I can't be one to not be a little bit biased, but I will say that it is on brand for the Deadpool character. But at the same time, I feel like it's a bit reductive to say, well, I heard the F-bomb dropped. Oh, they're going to be very lazy with the writing. Because that to me is analogous to someone saying, oh, there's a woman in a Mad Max movie. I don't want to watch it now. Because it's not. Because I know you heard that argument a lot, so it's like that's how that sounds to me when I hear someone complaining about Deadpool swearing.
Well, I would agree. I would agree with you because, and not to, well, mostly it's Wolverine, and if you watch like in X-Men First Class when Magneto and Xavier find Wolverine at the bar to recruit him to be part of their mutant band, the thing that Wolverine says is "fuck off." It's the only. So it's not like it is on point for Wolverine. It's not unprecedented that he uses the F word in those movies.
Correct.
I just think though that I think his larger point is that just to use language to make things edgier. Look, I think I mean I joke about the International Women's Day business, but you know, when Deadpool's talking about engaging in a little femdom action, you know, getting pegged for International Women's Day, I'm like, that's the kind of R-rated humor I like.
Yeah,
and I would expect more. I would expect more of that. But I can understand how the language issue. But I look, from my perspective,
yeah,
when he said "let's fucking go," I love that.
As did I.
I mean, I thought that was because it's Wolverine, and that means, you know, the claws are out, and he's gonna go tear some shit up.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a character, at least when I was introduced to him as a kid in the early 80s, he's a character that my introduction to him wasn't one of his comics, it was a what if. And I don't remember the panel, and I don't remember who drew it, but it was one where it was told from the perspective of a soldier who's now an old man, and he's talking about his time in Vietnam. And he's talking about a guy that he was working with who never seemed to go down. It didn't matter how the Viet Cong had wiped out all their party. There was this one dude that just would tank all of the fire.
Yeah.
And it cuts to a panel shot of Logan's face yelling, "Put out that goddamn light." So like, that's why I know. I think you know the panel I'm probably talking about.
Yeah.
If you've ever collected those, so it's like again on brand. So you know, whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I'm just more worried that the film, you know, again, it leans, obviously, it has a lot of heavy lifting to do.
Yes, it does.
In the sense that it's obviously a big parody. You've got multiverse stuff. I just hope it actually has a great story that they're hanging all this on.
I certainly hope so. I mean,
and it looks to me like, and that was why this new trailer, I'm like, okay, here's a new dimension that delves into, I think, the idea, and I don't know if this is correct, it's an assumption I'm making, but the idea that the Wolverine that we meet in this movie is a failure.
Yeah.
And he has to atone for what he did not succeed at doing. And I like the idea that you know, Deadpool goes to find him, and he's the only one that knows that Wolverine is capable of great things. It's just he's been so beat. Look, I love a redemption story,
as do I,
and I think that using this in that way is interesting. And I just hope it's great and that it's not totally a goof. But then again, it is a Deadpool movie, and I think the first Deadpool is a shining example. I think it's a terrific film that works on many different levels. It's an actual real, it has a real great story to tell. It's got a great superhero story to tell. It's got a romance. And then the character of Deadpool himself is hilarious.
Yep.
And it really, really works. And the action is great. It's witty.
Yeah.
And Tim Miller knocked that shit out of the park.
He did.
And I don't think Deadpool 2 was nearly as successful. I like Deadpool 2.
I couldn't say the same for. I mean, it's not. No. I guess you could say that's one of my guilty pleasures when it comes to films that I like.
I mean, I like Deadpool 2. I don't dislike it, but I think, you know, and this is a hot take, I think Terminator 1 is a much better movie than Terminator 2, even though Terminator 2 is brilliant spectacle and action and all that. But Terminator 1 was something that, despite the Harlan Ellison connection, it came out of nowhere. And I remember going to see that in the theater 40 years ago and just being knocked out by it.
Yeah.
And because no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
You know, no one had seen Piranha 2, The Spawning, and people might have known James Cameron from Escape from New York and Forbidden World and Galaxy of Terror and Battle Beyond the Stars.
Taking me back, Rob.
I'm telling you, man. I know.
You know, in Forbidden World, I only got so much time left. I got like 40 seconds left. I want to say this. So, Forbidden World, right? When they're going down the chasm, once they've landed on the planet, you know that most of those sound effects are lifted right out of Hanna-Barbera.
Oh yeah.
So
yes, it's funny. It's funny. I just filed my, you know, when I file stuff, I always dust off when I re-alphabetize because dust gets on the jackets. And I just, the last disc I filed last night and wiped off and dusted was Forbidden World, the Blu-ray. And I'm like, I don't even know why I have this, but I do. In case the mood strikes today.
Yeah, right.
Today, I really have to watch Forbidden World.
Maybe you do. Maybe you have to remind yourself not to. I don't know. It's been a pleasure.
Always good to talk to you.
Likewise.
I mean, it's only been a couple times, but I always like hearing from you now. Oh, modesty. I can't wait to hear. By the way, you know what? I got to tell you before she gets on. So I'm watching House of the Dragon, this last episode, which I loved. And Elizabeth was like, this is so boring. I'm like, what? This is not boring. Not to throw her under the bus, but I am throwing her under the bus because what? Boring?
And you're in it according to the picture that we set up for.
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally am. I'm now the new regent. I'm the post geek singularity regent. Because that'll end well.
All right, let's go ahead and get Modesty in here. Welcome, Modesty. You should be able to unmute at this time.
Hello, Roberto. Your son really looks like Timothy Chalamet.
He does have a little bit of that, right?
A little bit, scary bit.
I'll let him know. It's funny. My other son, Alejandro, always gets commented that he looks like Thor, like Chris Hemsworth. So I don't know where the genetics come from there, but we'll see. Definitely
Your wife.
From the mother's side. Definitely from the mother's side.
No, you have behind the glasses, but he looks like you a lot. The Timothy Chalamet one. We haven't seen the other one yet. Anyway, 1,300 miles later, I'm in my country house. Correct.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yes, I crossed Europe diagonally.
Wow.
I went from London to northern Serbia. I'm near the Danube right now, and it's we're waiting for the storm. And I don't want to turn this camera because you will see lots of bags unpacked.
How long are you staying there for?
Until the end of August.
Wow, that's such a European thing. We don't get to do that in America.
Exactly. That's why, we didn't cross that ocean for a reason. We knew there would be 2 weeks of holiday. And that's just not the thing to do. Summer is a long, long period to recharge, recuperate, swim, enjoy, drink, be
I
merry,
wish.
with friends, all sorts of things. Yeah.
Summer. This summer
in California, but you don't have any time off.
No, and this summer, particularly in America, Americans are so warm this summer. We're feeling such fellowship and camaraderie, and everybody in the country is just really happy to be a part of this country. And I just feel like what a great place to be.
Well, I think everybody thinks that. Every generation thinks that. I bet. When Kennedy was shot, that was horrendous.
Yeah.
It was earth-shattering. And then Martin Luther King, then Robert Kennedy. It was a whole succession of events. This event that we witnessed at the end of our conversation last week, the attempt on Trump, was also horrific as a herald of maybe repetition of that cycle, but that's not the first time. America has always been divided. Each country is divided.
Yeah.
It speaks from time to time. It's very cyclic.
I watched a really interesting video. A lot of people don't like Konstantin Kissin's video, his show Trigonometry, but they interviewed a Democratic Party, a woman from the Democratic Party. I think her name was Brianne. I don't remember her last name. And she had, I wish everybody would watch this video. She was very sober and had a really interesting, she's been canvassing for the Democratic Party for years and trying to get people recruited into the Democratic Party, younger people. She had the most sobering commentary about everything that the Democrats and the left have done wrong. And yet she's a staunch Democrat. And it was really a great discourse. And I wish we just had more of that in the country. I don't mind the fact that people are Democrats or Republicans or liberals or conservatives or progressives. What I do mind is how dumb it's all become. How the discourse on all sides has just become infantilized, and everybody is stupid and not paying attention to what really matters. And it really is depressing because the rest of the world is going to clean our clocks.
I'm going to put my Darth Plato hat on and say, it's the thing is that generations have forgotten about wars. The
Oh,
peace
yes.
has lasted for a long, long time. They have forgotten what a war looks like. And that's very dangerous, because they think it's a game and then it's not.
No.
Favorite song is Life During the Wartime by Talking Heads. And that depiction of wartime is so vivid in that song. And I would play that to, youngsters on the loop. Like, try to get into this mode of thinking for a second. I don't know, but let's hope for the best.
What's interesting is there's a movie that came out that the Obamas produced called Leave the World Behind that was on Netflix. It's based on a novel. We got a taste yesterday with this collapse of the computer system from the Microsoft end, just how vulnerable our world really is, especially the United States. Because there's, they talk about the infiltration into our power systems and water systems by bad actors. We see how critical infrastructure can be taken out in a moment. And the movie Leave the World Behind shows what it's like. I mean, we could literally be cut off. Americans would never know. If we had no information, if we had no internet, no way to talk to each other, most people have cell phones now. Very few people have landlines. It would not be very difficult to stir up some real craziness. But I would hope the problem is
that's another thing about Europe and the difference. In Europe, I feel there is this duality of analog and digital.
Yes.
And I would say that in the US, I don't know about China. I think China has gone digital as well, big time. But I can't swear on.
Yeah.
But Europe can survive and go back to analog and everything will be hunky dory.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting to me is I want to hear your thoughts of this week's House of the Dragon, but the commentary, like Kristen Cole, when he was saying the infantry doesn't matter, the war is happening in the sky, I can't help but look at it as an incredible metaphor for where we're at right now. I mean, this season of House of the Dragon is becoming quickly a lot more metaphoric about what's happening today in our world than it is a fantasy TV show.
As any good story is.
Yeah.
Because a good story can be kind of, cast shadow onto real life situations. And this is a really good story. And I love how they depicted this, post-traumatic stress syndrome that Cole is having after, although he's a seasoned warrior, he is still completely stressed. I have 4 seconds. I wanted to show you something.
No, we can leave you on a little bit more. We'll leave her on a little bit more.
Not a physical media. I don't know if you see it because I can't see myself. This is communist design from Poland from 1950s. It's a fan and it still works.
Wow.
And it's orange and white. And I don't know how much you can see, but I found it long time ago, somewhere in the basement, chucked somewhere, and I cleaned it and it works. And that's an example of analog. This is rubber, by the way.
Wow. So it's 50, 60 years old.
No, it's from 1950s. So
70 years old. Wow.
70 years old,
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that. And it still works. And it's, usually things from communist countries are ugly, really ugly. Communists were not great on design, but this is actually quite nice 50s design. So I was wondering, because it ended up here, it was probably for export. And because Yugoslavia could be in 2 worlds, that was the only country that could go both east and west. Probably somebody brought it from some fancy shop for foreigners only in Poland.
Mhm.
And I would love to make a little documentary and trace this back to its origin
Yeah.
in Poland.
What does it say on the front of it there?
It says zephyr. Zephyr is a type of wind. So it's called it's a type of wind. It's a mild, kind of breezy, warm wind, but cool and warm, not unpleasant. So
Mhm.
very appropriate name for a fan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mini fan from 1950s, and because it's boiling hot around me, it serves a purpose, and it's analog, very much so.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, House of the Dragon, 20 seconds. What did you want to discuss, Rob?
Well, I just was wonder what you thought of the episode.
Well, I love the episode, although
I did
they
too.
are making changes, and I'm really interested to know where these changes are leading. I fear that they will cut Nettles as a character. If they do that, that will be interesting to watch how they change that, because that has repercussions for Game of Thrones or the Song of Ice and Fire,
Yeah.
because there is a tribe or tribes in the Vale that appear with Tyrion, and there is a character called Timett, son of Timett, who doesn't have an eye, because traditionally in his tribe they burn their eye. And why? Because there was a witch who was working with fire and had fire on her, and most probably that was Nettles, because she escaped to the Vale with the dragon and was not seen again. So there is this whole story, because there is a theory that Nettles was pregnant with Daemon Targaryen, and if she escaped to the Vale with the dragon, are these tribes actually partly Targaryen? And there is a moment when in the books Tyrion says to Timett, son of Timett, I will give you the Vale. And if he does give the Vale to Timett, son of Timett, ironically, it will go back either to Targaryens or the first men, and the Vale did belong to the first men before Andals or House Erin came. So it's very kind of, this is an important link, the Nettles story. It's not just a love story. And also there is this duality of Aemon and Daemon, Daemon and Aemon, and their witch wives, in a way.
Yeah.
Nettles and
their
Alice.
fates are also intertwined, obviously.
They're like, I would say, Alice in Wonderland. They're two sides of a mirror. They're kind of mirrored completely. So it's interesting to watch how they will surpass that. But I love how much lore they're putting in, and I just want to see how they will pay that back. Where is the payback for that? Because they're kind of introducing it. And and by the way, do you know that the guy who plays Aemon was playing that mathematician guy in Saltburn, that weird friend at the university?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, like
the
one who first befriends him.
The
yeah.
Asperger,
yeah.
kind of very autistic, borderline. That's the same actor.
He was like the only friend he had, and then he ditches him for the rich friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Aemon.
Wow.
Yeah, the same actor. Yeah, you wouldn't recognize him easily.
I wouldn't have thought it. No, not at all.
Anyway, guys, I'll be online with you from the country house henceforth, and next time I will put all the fairy lights So I'll be outside. Now I'm too tired to even move, let alone do anything else.
Well,
Have
always,
fun.
Nice.
always a pleasure, Modesty. Thank you so much for
Always
joining
good to
us,
see you.
and enjoy your time in the countryside.
Oh yeah.
All right, so then let me go ahead and get. I lost Modesty here. Let me remove her, and we will jump to Brian Erdy next. Welcome, Brian.
Hey.
What's up, dude?
Not too much. I'm going to tell you about a place here in Atlanta called the Book Nook. Used bookstore, used collectible store, it's an everything store. But before I do, and before I tell you what I found there, House of the Dragon, the thing I love about it is we were just talking about it, the casting is really great.
It's really great.
They just have interesting, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but just sort of weird, unique looking people cast in that show, and it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was in this week. I was in the Book Nook, and it's a drive. If you live in Atlanta, everything is like an hour away. So I made the haul there, and as I was shopping. Do you remember 4 or 5 member chats ago, I was gushing about my uniquely shaped Star Wars VHS box?
Yes.
Yes. I love this. I love it. It's just such a weird thing. And while I was there, I found from the same time period of releases, the making of Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back.
I had that tape.
Yeah. With the little box that slides out, so cool. And then finally, I saw I found a movie which I used to have, and back in the days when
is that a Scotch VHS tape shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I on a rare day when I wear something like this, I'll have somebody be like, "Is that a VHS?"
I only use Maxell.
Oh, see,
Maxell and TDK were the only VHS tapes I used.
Gotcha.
I was a total VHS snob. If somebody got an Ampex VHS tape near me, I'd just take it and throw it away. Like throw it in the distance.
Yeah.
Get that shit away from me.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So I found this movie that I used to have. And back in the days when you would try to like tell people, your friends, like, this is really good, you need to check it out. I loaned this to one of my friends and I never got it back. So I haven't had it for like 20 years. But while I was at the Book Nook, I found and got another of my replacement copy of Free Enterprise.
I've never seen that.
No?
No.
Check it out.
That's the original Pioneer version, though. That's not anamorphic. And it has a different. My only problem with that version is it's missing some scenes. That's a theatrical version of the movie, but that was the first version. It does have the trivia track on it, and that was the first. But it's not anamorphic. That was the first. Pioneer put out that. They put it out on Laserdisc and on DVD.
Really? I did not know it made it to Laserdisc.
It was one of the last Laserdiscs. It was a double disc set because Pioneer was our distributor, and so they made Laserdiscs. I mean, hopefully one day I can get the movie out again in 4K with whatever I want to tweak on it to make it better. Because it's a forgotten movie. It's really frustrating to tell people, or people ask me about a movie I've made, no one can see it. It's very, very frustrating. I mean, what can you do? Especially Mr. Physical Media like I am. And I can't, there's no 4K or there's no Blu-ray. It's out of my control, but it's very frustrating.
Well, it's got to be frustrating, and it's not like I'm kissing up here when I talk about the fact that everybody that I'd ever loaned it to or made sit down and watch the film, because they all have the same reaction that I did the first time that I saw it. I was like, I don't know what this is, and you start it, and once you get to the sequence where he has the vision of William Shatner for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't want to know. No, I want to know. And when he tells him, Shatner goes, kick the little fucker's ass. I'm in. I'm done. I'm in. This is something I love.
Plus,
already.
I've learned more about movie making, and I would just clean it up. Like it needs to be I just learned more about editorial, but like in that particular scene where they go to limbo, I would add, and I'm going to add, of effects to that scene where you would see wind blowing, you would see stuff in the air, like they're on a Star Trek set, kind of like in Wrath of Khan when you see the wind blowing when they land on SETI Alpha 5. Just to add production value. The Logan's Run, that version doesn't in my 5-year mission edition, it has the Logan's Run visual effects added to it, the Dome City and all that, the cars, and the Logan's Run dream sequence. The way I shot it when I was editing it, I didn't know how to make the edits. I shot it in a surrealistic way, but I couldn't make it work. I was too locked into continuity, and I didn't realize I could make this work with jump cuts and stuff. So there's a lot more to that Logan's Run dream sequence that I shot that I would go back and rework, just because I've learned more about movie making and editorial and the way it was originally shot. It works fine the way it is because it's only a quick joke, but I could have made it visually a lot more interesting.
It's called the 5-year edition.
It's the Anchor Bay. It's the double disc Anchor Bay. The movie's longer. It's like 8 minutes longer, and it has a whole new sound mix, and it's anamorphic, and it was recolor timed, and there's visual effects in it, like the Logan's Run dream sequence that never existed before, but they were only done at standard def. So what I want to do is go back in and retransfer the entire negative. And there was 2 sequences I would like to add back into the movie, but when I did the director's cut, the dailies tapes, because we finished it NTSC resolution, the dailies tapes were missing. So I'd have to go back and retransfer the negative. So,
well, I know what I'm doing this afternoon, because the completist in me is like, okay, well, if this is anamorphic, I have to get that. So
yeah, the Anchor Bay version is much better. It's a much better disc. It's a much better representation of the film, and I like the cut of the film better.
Cool. Thanks for the time.
Always good to see you, man.
See you on the flip side.
Yes.
Good to see you, Brian. Let me go ahead and get you remove pin here. Then, Rob, I think this is the time where we're going to have to say goodbye to our friends online on YouTube, but we will continue the chat here. Any announcements before we say goodbye to our
YouTube check out our Kickstarter for True Noir. We really haven't started advertising it, but if you're interested in one of the coolest audio dramas ever with an incredible cast that keeps getting more incredible, check it out over on Kickstarter, True Noir. There's many different ways you can support it and buy it. And when the Kickstarter ends mid-September, we're going to deliver the series, so you don't have to wait 6 months or a year. Right. And it'll take, some things are going to take a while, like the Blu-ray, and we haven't put it on there yet, but the vinyl box set, I don't know if anyone's going to want a vinyl box set, but we're going to make it available.
And there'll be some announcements, maybe some reveals coming next week when you present at Comic-Con.
Yeah. Yep. And we've got at our panel at Comic-Con, we have Anthony LaPaglia, who plays Al Capone. We have Chris Carr, who plays Marianne Beam, the love interest. We have Don McManus, who plays actor George Raft, who was also in Shawshank Redemption. We have Louis Lombardi, who plays one of Mayor Cermak's bent cops. There's the two Harrys, they call him. He plays Harry Miller. Okay. He was on 24 and The Sopranos. And then we also have Bill Smitrovich coming down. And Bill Smitrovich is, if you look up his credits, he's been in a million movies that you love. And I can't believe Bill Smitrovich. Again, the whole cast, I can't believe the cast of this show. And it just keeps getting more and more amazing. We also will have a giveaway, 24 by 36 inch posters of that Comic-Con poster that we had printed up. So, which is pretty cool. And once those are gone, those are gone. We're never going to print those again. Although we might use the artwork for something else, but those are our Comic-Con exclusive posters made by our artist Bartos, who lives in Transylvania.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, so that's going. So please support. We're not asking for a lot. We would hope to get a lot more, but no one's heard it yet. People, it's like, what is this? And again, we're still in production. Hopefully during the campaign, we will have at least episode 1 finished. It's getting there. I mean, I'm hearing the episodes because we're pre-mixing them all, and I'm cutting all the dialogue for all the actors I've directed. And man, it's good. If I do say so myself.
Sounds good, Rob. That's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, people are
so
curious
True
about
Noir.
it.
Go to
Noir.
Kickstarter right now. You can support it for just $1 if you want.
Right. And you can any of the videos that Rob has been putting out lately, you've got the big advertisement and the links and all that there. I don't know if
And you'll start seeing little minute-long videos on social media everywhere. And
excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will say goodbye to our friends on YouTube. Those of you in the Zoom call, we will resume in a minute here. Let's just go ahead and finish up the stream, and we'll say bye to our friends. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yes, indeed.